My name is Giggles, and I like things, including bleaching my hair. You wanna bleach your natural hair. That is going to be a very significant decision to make, because bleaching natural hair is a very damaging process, I would say. But bleaching any hair is pretty damaging. You have to ask yourself, how important is your quality of hair? I'm not talking hair health, because your hair can still be healthy even though it's bleached, but it will just never be the same again. You just have to be prepared for that. So I bleached my hair because I didn't see any growth. It wasn't going anywhere, and like that could possibly just be my own, like my regimen wasn't working for me or whatever, but I was just so fed up with having the same hair. It was the same length for like the last 3 years, and like nothing was changing. So I was like, if it's not gonna grow anyway, what difference does it make if I bleach it? So then I made an appointment to go get the hair bleached. I decided to do it professionally because I didn't want to mess it up. I was like, I'm not about to get a bleach kit and then have it end up really like blotchy and like streaky. Like I just did not want it to go bad. When I make a decision to do something, I want to do it properly, especially because I didn't want to go like honey blonde or like, you know, the blonde that most black folks go, which is like that, like just like amberish. It's not platinum. This is platinum, or at least close to platinum. I did go peach and now that's washed out, so it's just, it looks a bit more less platinum. I'll show you a picture of what it looked like immediately as I got out of the chair. A weird thing that kind of happened during the process was like, so I don't know if you know Brad Mondo, but he taught me that you don't start at the root. You don't, because why? The scalp emits heat. Thus, if you start at the roots will process faster than the rest of the hair. You'd start with the rest of the shaft of the hair from mids to ends, and then return to the roots so that it balances out how long the whole shaft processes for. But my hairdresser, she started with my roots, and I was like, okay. I sat there in the chair and I was like, I'm gonna trust you. Fingers crossed. I pray. But I mean, it still turned out okay. Like my roots, this is not like a different color, but when they toned it, it turned out fine. So I don't know if that has to do with because my hair is curly, that the roots aren't as big of a deal. I was very concerned when it was happening because I was like, Brad Mondo said no. Brad Mondo said don't do that. Your scalp's gonna itch. Just be careful. Don't wash your hair beforehand because your scalp will be sensitive, and thus when the bleach is getting into those little micro tears in your scalp, it's gonna burn like a bitch. My hair before I bleached it was medium porosity. My hair type is type 4B. Medium thickness, and my hair isn't super coarse, but it's not thin either. My hair is pretty like average. So when they put the bleach in my hair, it took literally like 20 to 30 minutes for it to lift to this color. Like I didn't have to do it. I bleached my hair once and this is the color that I got. I sat there for 40 minutes and this is the color that I managed to get. And I think that's definitely because my hair wasn't that thick. If you have thick hair, high density hair, you will have to get this color, you will have to bleach it more than once. I can almost guarantee you that. The thinner the hair you have, the faster your hair will lift. Obviously, the lighter the hair you have, the faster it will lift, but the less work the bleach has to do, the faster it will do it. I realized my medium porosity hair, my medium thickness, my very medium-like hair was beneficial in this process. So now I bleach my hair, and this is what I look like straight out of the chair. I'll maybe put a picture like here, right? And I love it. I was like, ha, I'm blonde. No one can stop me now. I loved it. I loved it to bits. However, it was so dry. God. What's good also about getting your hair done professionally is that they'll be able to like give you the appropriate treatment to your hair type, in terms of like moisture, or like, so when I finished having my hair bleached, they gave me this like mask and my hair felt super soft for that first day until the next day when it was like dry and stuff. Then it felt parched. It felt like the fucking desert island as soon as it dried completely, because once you bleach your hair the first time, it won't dry like it usually does. It takes a while to like, you know, feel dry, I guess, like not wet anymore. but it was dry in the worst way possible. And so for a couple of weeks thereafter, I was told not to braid, not to color my hair, not to straighten my hair at all, just so that my hair could recover, because bleaching is a damaging process. So it was dry for the first few weeks, very, very, very dry, so dry. And then soon enough, my natural oil started like coming through and repairing the hair and like getting it back to like, not the point it was before I bleached it, but like a manageable, moisturized kind of state, you know. And I tried to amend my routine accordingly. So I had to give my hair a bit of time to recover. I had to wait at least a week to 2 weeks before I could do anything to it. And I didn't do anything to it because I loved it the way it was. My curls were popping. I'm going to tell you now, now we're going to talk about what changed in my hair stuff. So the two main things that will change in your hair if you bleach it is it'll be super dry and will require a lot more work to keep it moisturized, and it will feel thinner. It will definitely feel thinner. If you already have thin hair, bleaching it will not make that better. It won't. It will not. You will feel it in your hands when you wash your hair. My hair wasn't that thick, as I've said, but I now noticed, especially when I wash my hair, it's like flat to my scalp, and I can feel like not that the strands are less, but that the strands are thinner. And that's because obviously bleach strips away that pigment, and that pigment is like physical pigment. It's not like some phantom thing that will keep your strands don't just stay the same size once the pigment is removed. The moment the pigment is removed, your strands adjust to like having less pigment. The biggest difference I noticed with bleached hair is that it is almost easier to manage. If you are natural, you know, especially if you're someone who has 4C, 4B like hair, you know that it can be very difficult to deal with, like in terms of like detangling, making sure you're careful with it. Like each strand can be like, you need to like nurture natural hair and be very specific with it. But I've noticed now that it's bleached, it isn't as finicky. Single strand knots were the bane of my existence. No matter how much I trimmed, it just wanted to do this all the time. That was my hair, just constantly doing this the whole time. And so since I bleached it, it's just not doing that anymore. So I can literally detangle in like 5 minutes, and like not even 5, like a minute or 2 with a wide tooth comb, 1 2 1 2 1 2, and I'm done. Before I'd have to sit and like block out like at least 3 hours for my wash day to be like, okay, 30 minutes on detangling, where I pre-poo, and with every little strand I do very meticulous detangling, and I don't have to do that anymore. Overall, my washing days have come down, so they're a lot shorter because I don't have to do as much detangling. My hair also takes a lot less product to feel saturated. Now I can look at the bottle and it'll be like 1 dime-sized dollop of whatever, and it's enough. It's genuinely enough. My curl pattern is so much looser, so much looser, and like it still shrinks the same, and when it dries it looks the same as it used to in terms of like shape and how it sits, but when it's wet it's so much looser, so much longer. That will change with how long ago you bleach your hair. So when I first bleached it, it was very loose, very like bouncy, and very like stretched. It was very stretched because obviously less melanin, less bonds keeping the hair the way it's used to being will make it more floppy and more like extended. And then as it like healed over the weeks, it would return back to what it was more like before I bleached it, which was like shorter. Shrinkage was increasing as the weeks went on. My fro was like, you know, the way it was I was used to having it. So it will come back to some semblance of what it used to be, but just the color will be different and it won't look exactly like what it used to. So just be prepared for that, because if you're expecting your hair to be just as big, just as voluminous as it is, it may not come out that way. So just be careful and be prepared for that change. So yeah, that's what it's like going blonde, bleaching your natural hair. I need to go get my roots done because yeah, I don't think it would be that difficult for me to do my own roots, but I just wanted that initial color because look how even that is. Like there's no way I could have done that on my own. There's no way. And it's like from roots to tips it was the same color all over the place, and that's exactly what I wanted. It's suggested that you go back to like touch up your roots maybe after 6 weeks, but by 6 weeks my hair was still like super blonde, like my roots weren't even showing that badly. And you can definitely wait for longer because natural hair doesn't grow as fast as like Caucasian hair does. That's a bit weird. Black hair doesn't grow as fast as like Caucasian or Asian hair does, so you will probably end up going back to do your roots a lot later, or at least I didn't feel bothered by it. But the 6 weeks is the best. And also I suggest not bleaching your hair too often, simply because otherwise, unless you're prepared to have it feeling dry all the time, because after the first 2 to 3 weeks of having it bleached, it's going to feel dry, but it will get better. But if you're bleaching it every 6 weeks, you will always have dry hair because you're always stripping away your hair's natural like defenses. When you do bleach your hair, maybe try to, when you go through the appointment, have makeup on, because blonde hair is striking. Like, it's very like whiplash. Like, you need to be prepared, because if you're so used to seeing yourself with dark hair, what then? You'll be like, this is so surprising. So if you have makeup on, it makes it seem a bit more put together. So if you don't want to feel like shocked and like regret your decision immediately, then maybe go to the appointment with a bit of like lash, a bit of lip, a bit of blush. That might help. But if you're 100% certain, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't overthink it. If you're choosing to bleach your hair blonde, you need to be prepared that A, it won't go this blonde in the first session depending on your hair type, and B, it's going to be damaging. As long as you're prepared for those two things, do it, girl. Guy, whoever you are, do it. Blonde hair is amazing. Blondes have more fun. That's a lie. But now that I'm blonde, I feel like it's kind of true. So like, yeah. If you want to do it, do it. It's super fun. It's super cool. I feel so edgy, but I'm an edgelord, so whatever. Can you see my freckles? I just did a video the other day where I had freckles put on with henna. And like, it doesn't look that bad, does it? I don't think so. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty natural. That's the end of the video. If you liked the video and found it informative, please like and comment. If you want to see more videos from me, then subscribe. And yeah, bye!